Hey everyone, welcome to Sidetrack Adventures. This is Steve. Right now I'm in downtown Oregon City, Oregon, which was the end of the Oregon Trail. But it wasn't the Oregon Trail that brought us here today. I mean, technically it was Highway 99 that brought us here. But the reason that we're here today is because I heard Oregon City has the only vertical street in America. And when I heard that, I just had to come check it out. So let's head into downtown Oregon City and find Elevator Street, the only vertical street in the country.
Oregon City is about 12 miles or so from Portland and was once the capital of the Oregon Territory. The city was founded in 1829 by the Hudson Bay Company, and in 1844 it became the first United States city west of the Rocky Mountains to be incorporated. This was also the destination for those wanting to file land claims in Oregon in the 1840s and 1850s, making it the last stop on the Oregon Trail. So there is a lot of history here. Just looking around the downtown area, there are quite a few old and historic buildings around, and you do feel like you've stepped into another time. But this over here is why we are in Oregon City today. This is the Oregon City Municipal Elevator. It's also officially a street, Elevator Street, making it, according to the city, the only vertical street in North America. There is a cliff that runs through the town, separating downtown from the residential districts. There were old Indian trails that led up the cliffs, and eventually stairs were built, but you can imagine after working all day at the mill or whatever, having to climb a cliff to get home wasn't fun. You can sort of see here where one of the trails going up the cliff is, behind the elevator. So, in 1912, a vote was held that authorized $12,000 in bonds to construct and operate an elevator from the lower to the upper town. So let's head on inside and check out the elevator. When they selected this building site, a woman named Sarah Chase owned the land at the top of the cliff, and she refused to give up any of her property. The city went all the way to the Oregon Supreme Court, and it was ruled they could create a right-of-way for the elevator. Sarah Chase ended up giving up a small portion of her land, but refused to ever ride the elevator. There's quite a few historic photos in here, but they are those lenticular photos that kind of change, so they don't really come up good on camera. Here's the entrance to the stairs if you want to walk up the cliff rather than take the elevator. Maybe we'll come down that way. Alright, so let's head up the vertical street. And I know people are going to say this is a elevator, not a street, but hey, I don't make the rules. The original elevator was constructed of steel and wood and opened in November 1915. The elevator was water-powered, and it took 3 to 5 minutes to go the 89 feet to the top. While I'm sure the elevator was a welcome relief for those who had to go up this cliff every day, not everyone was happy about it. When the elevator was up, all of the residences in the area would lose water pressure. Within a week of it opening, someone sabotaged the elevator by pouring lead into its water pipe. It sounds like our elevator has arrived. In 1924, the hydraulic power was replaced by electricity, and the ride time was shortened to 30 seconds. By the 1950s, the elevator was experiencing frequent breakdowns, and in 1954, a proposal for a new elevator was put forth, and this current elevator opened on May 5th, 1955. And looking around, it is a pretty standard elevator. But it looks like we've made it to the top, so yeah, about a 10-second ride or so. And it looks like from the top of the elevator, we're going to get a pretty good view. It's definitely worth coming up the elevator just for the view from this observation deck. And when I say worth coming up the elevator, I mean it's free, so you already can't beat the price. But the view from up here is fantastic, with the Willamette River and the city below. On a clear day, you could probably see Mount Hood out in this direction. The floor of the observation deck features a map of Oregon City. The elevator doors are where the elevator would be on the floor map. Here's a look at the top of the elevator from the outside. There is a small gift shop in the observation deck area as well. The top of the only vertical street in North America. Now, I did ask, and I was told there are 3 other vertical streets, one in Switzerland, Sweden, and Brazil. I tried to Google it. I couldn't find any information on these other vertical streets, but that's what I was told. There are still quite a few historic houses at the top of the cliff. Talk about having a house with a great view. We're on a short walking path that goes along the top of the cliff that's supposed to lead to a great view of the Willamette Falls, but here's some of the lumber mills below us. According to the sign, some of the movie Twilight was filmed here. Now, I've never seen the movie, so I don't know, but if you have, maybe you recognize this. And here are the Willamette Falls. We've walked about 5-10 minutes or so to get to this viewpoint from the top of the elevator. It looks like there used to be some sort of plaque or something here, but based on the weeds growing up around it, it looks like whatever it was has been gone for some time.
So we came up the easy way, but now we're gonna go down the hard way. Well, it would be the hard way if we were going up it. It's still gonna be easy for us because we're going downhill, but now we're gonna take the path that people would have had to have used if they didn't take the elevator.
Here's a last look back at the view from the top before we start heading down. Alright, here are the steps heading down. This was originally an Indian trail. Natives lived on top of the cliff and would come down to the river in order to trade and to fish. A tunnel going under the road. We have some water pouring down. This is the same water source that would have been used for the original elevator. This water actually goes to kind of a cool man-made waterfall next to the trail. Speaking of the waterfall, here's the top of it. There used to be a wooden staircase here, but in 1939, the Works Progress Administration built this stone staircase going up the cliff. Apparently, the old wooden staircase had 722 steps, which seems like a lot to me. So I'm sure the elevator was a godsend to people who had to go up this cliff every day. Haven't really been counting, so I'm not sure how many steps are on the current staircase, but the steps are actually pretty shallow. I'm pretty surprised we haven't seen anyone coming up the steps yet. This seems like it would be a great free workout, and it's such a beautiful area. We've almost made it to the bottom. Definitely easier going down than going up. You can see the train tracks next to the trail here. The original elevator went over the train tracks, while this new current elevator goes under the train tracks. And speaking of the elevator, it's kind of hidden by the trees, but there it is above us. And here's a look back up the stairs and what you have to climb if there was no elevator.
So that's our look at the Oregon City Municipal Elevator, the only vertical street in America. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next week.